Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. The subject for today is the second coming of Christ leads the exodus of disgruntled American slaves out of their corporate hell. How many of you listening to this think that this living Christ is a fraud, a huckster, a mind controller bent on power? How many of you listening to this think that this living Christ is crazy, a kook, a liar, bent on deceiving you? How many of you listening to this video think that this living Christ is seeking fame and fortune through such activities? How many of you listening to this are just plain confused and don't know what to make of such extraordinary claims that have upset the satanic internet apple cart for 19 years? How many of you listening to this could withstand the unrelenting government, media, disinformation libel campaign designed to destroy the credibility and reputation of this Christ over a 19-year span, and be stronger at the end than at the beginning, while professional multi-aliases, mind controllers wither and run? How many of you could stand before a court of law and refuse to accept the sentencing of such court after exposing 2 fraudulent convictions and be set free with no charges hanging over his head? Even Jesus of Nazareth, another Christ some 2,000 years ago, could not do that in his time. How many of you listening to this cannot break the satanic spell of mind control which has enslaved your publicly educated consciousness? Why not take a hint from these satanic elitists who sit in power, those who control you in your lives through remote control, and see what their tactics have been? At the peripheral level, you have been treated to the bread and circus technique of entertainment, of forgeries, false biographies, and malicious, guttural images. But at the seat of the policy-making corporatists, all that you will find there is a stone wall of silence, when it comes to actually dealing with this living Christ. For the last 12 years, the U.S. government and media has refused to acknowledge my existence as a living Christ. The publishing and distribution industry has refused to distribute my book, Journey Beyond Thought, Breaking the Bonds of the Conditioned Mind, while a flood of phony reviews have been allowed to proliferate on Amazon.com. Although media giants such as 60 Minutes have brought forth stories to the public of numerous people who have declared themselves to be Christ, they have yet to make a single mention of this Christ, even though my writings have been sent to them as I do with all those on my email list. What better way to discredit this Christ than to launch an investigative report on this Christ? Yet all there is silence. No word, no comment, nothing. Aside from false newspaper stories fictionalized by government, supported and sponsored disinformation agents, why has there been no reputable print media to set out the true facts of this living Christ instead of hiding behind a giant wall of silence? Well, wonder no more. I, this living Christ, can be seen by those who are in control of your lives to pose a real threat to the satanic forces of government and religion. Why? For I have shown the way to all. I have demonstrated it to all who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. The satanic spell, which has bound you to your enslavement through your own willing consent, is still intact. And the time is now to break the satanic spell and be free. The solution to breaking the back of the satanic New World Order is given freely and openly to all. I will not lead this movement of freedom, for I have already done my part. I have demonstrated its efficacy and lawfulness in an unlawful but legal government. Let a movement take place in its shape and form, copying the steps that I have personally taken, and which may be found in the article, The Sovereign Man's Solution to Defeating the Tyranny of the New World Order, revised and expanded. You'll find that at the link of arkenterprises.com, dialkist, or dial, DIALCH 241.html, # defeating. May a resourceful satanic philanthropist of his sins step up and redeem himself by funding an operation of cooperating individuals who possess the necessary technical skills to assist others in rescinding their 14th Amendment status and recover their lost sovereignty. Through such a non-profit cooperative effort, a mass exodus from the slavery to freedom is not only possible, it is a fact, ready to unfold on a mass scale. It already has been proven by the actions taken in the life of this living Christ. You, each of you, are all living Christs, but you suffer from amnesia due to your satanic conditioning. It is time to wake up. It is time to shake off the effects of the satanic hypnotic slumber that has brought you to the point where you actively and willingly fund the wars and scientific research bent on genocide. There is no need for a new world order with its population control campaigns via wars, tyranny, pollution, and deadly pharmaceuticals. It is time for a new consciousness, that of Christ consciousness. It is time for the second coming of Christ, which will usher in peace and cooperation instead of wars and satanic competition. To the satanic leaders of the New World Order, I, this living Christ, say, let my people go. You will find that what I am saying is no less than what Moses has done in the past, when he brought his people out of enslavement to Egyptian law. Well, today, this living Christ has proven that no fictional court, no fictional government has jurisdiction over any living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient, natural man or woman, the sovereign man or woman who thought up, who created government. Hence, no fiction is greater than that living man or woman who created it. That is the simple message. We are all being scammed by thought control, by mind control. It is time for you to wake up and take back your sovereignty. Rescind your 14th Amendment affiliation, membership with a private corporate government. That is the process of transcending enslavement and returning to the state of freedom. Thank you for your time.